10 Unbelievable Ways Criminals Survive Death Row. Rowel Broom. In 2009, the state tried to execute Rowel Broom for abducting, and murdering a 14-year-old girl in Ohio, but after 2 hours and 18 failed needle jabs, they gave up. He was left bleeding and in pain as the team failed to find a vein. He lived another 11 years and died of COVID-19 in 2020. Doyle Hamm. In 2018, Doyle was sentenced to death for the 1987 robbery and murder of a motel clerk in Alabama. In 2018, executioners spent hours jabbing Doyle Hamm, struggling to access veins damaged by cancer and drug use. The attempt failed, causing internal bleeding and trauma. He was never executed and died naturally in 2021. Eugene Miller. Convicted of murdering 3 co-workers during a 1999 workplace shooting in Alabama, Eugene Miller was scheduled for execution by lethal injection in September 2022. Executioners attempted for over an hour, repeatedly puncturing him without success. Alabama agreed not to attempt another lethal injection, and Miller was later executed using nitrogen gas in 2024. Willie Francis. Convicted of murdering a pharmacist in Louisiana, Willie Francis was sentenced to death at just 16 years old. In 1946, his execution by electric chair failed due to a malfunction, causing him to scream, "Take it off! Let me breathe!" The botched attempt was attributed to improper setup by an intoxicated guard. Ginggaew Lorsoungnern. Convicted in Thailand for kidnapping and murder, Ginggaew faced execution by firing squad in 1979. Remarkably, she survived the initial volley of bullets due to a rare medical condition called situs inversus, which placed her heart on the right side of her chest. Officials administered a second round of gunfire, which proved fatal. John Smith. In 1705 England, John Smith was sentenced to death by hanging for robbery. After hanging for 15 minutes, he was cut down and found to be alive. Public sentiment favored his survival as a sign of divine intervention. He was pardoned and released, earning the nickname Half-Hanged Smith. Kenneth Smith. Convicted of a 1988 murder-for-hire plot where he helped kill a pastor's wife, Alabama tried to execute him by lethal injection in 2022, but couldn't insert the IV after an hour of failed attempts. The scene was so intense he shook on the table. Now, the state plans to execute him with nitrogen gas. Thomas Creech. Convicted of at least 5 murders across multiple states and sentenced to death for killing a fellow inmate in Idaho. In 2024, his execution was postponed after staff couldn't find a vein. He sat strapped down for nearly an hour before it was halted. Now Idaho is considering bringing back the firing squad. Alireza M. In Iran, Alireza M was convicted of drug offenses and hanged in 2013. After being declared dead, he was discovered alive in the morgue the next day. His survival sparked international outcry, leading to a legal debate on whether a second execution would be permissible. Ultimately, his sentence was commuted, and he was spared further execution attempts. William Duell. At just 16 years old, William Duell was hanged in 1740 England for and murder. After being declared dead, his body was taken for dissection, where he was found to be breathing. Authorities decided not to attempt another execution. Instead, his sentence was commuted to life imprisonment, and he was eventually released.